knowledge, or I'm too old that I can't build a business. And I always tell people I'd much rather be in the trenches. I'd much rather be on the field than sitting on the sideline wasting time and thinking, man, I can't do that. So my whole view of life is like, I would try everything. My thing is like, why not? I'm just going to try everything. And like we said before, like I know everything's going to be hard. And I feel like when, like, even now kids or some people, if they quit because things are hard, they just haven't done uncomfortable things enough. They haven't got out of their comfort zone enough and experienced, what that discomfort is. And so now for me, it's just, I know everything's going to be challenging. And like the Camp But How thing, like people say, maybe mindset mumbo jumbo, but like the majority of not only entrepreneurs, but human beings, like we start off with can't. Like the majority of people are like, oh, you can't do this because this, and this. And it's like humans are very disempowering creatures. Like if we don't catch our thoughts, if we don't catch our patterns, if we don't catch the things that come out of our mouth, if they're negative, like we need to switch that. And so now me, like my guys, everything is how. Like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to, get through this problem? And let's reverse engineer everything. And so if I just want people to realize, like, they have everything inside of them to do whatever they need to do. Over the 23 years of my life, I've realized that it's not this. It's not this physical body. People can see me on the street and be like, wow, look how disabled that guy is. And I'm like, have you seen your mindset? Like, have you seen the way you operate? Like, have you seen the way that you react to situations, that you're pissed off in traffic, that you think the world is happening to you? Like, I'm not disabled. Like, you're handicapped. And to let people know.
Let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. I'm fired up. We had such a surreal and priceless weekend. I'm ready to go ahead and pour back directly into the family. Talk about getting around the one percenters and being able to really take in this information. And I'm ready to go ahead and pour it back into everybody. So let me go ahead and go live on IG so we can dive into today. But before we go ahead and dive in, what is everybody grateful for coming into today? Grateful to be alive. So grateful. It is Monday. I realize most people end up disliking Mondays, not because it's Monday, but because they dislike what it is that they do. So if you don't like what you do right now, I want you to understand this is just temporary. And every day that we're putting in the reps, the time, the hours, it is not going towards a purpose that is not worth it. We're going towards living a life by design. So be proud of where you're at. Be proud of where you're working, because every day we are getting 1% better. So I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for the mind, for the body, and for the spirit. I'm so grateful for the dream team. We had a couple of the leaders go out and experience a little bit of this past weekend. I'm so happy you guys got a chance to go ahead and fill your cup up a little bit. I'm grateful regardless if you guys win or not. I know you're putting in the time. I know you're developing yourself. So let me be the first to give you congratulations, because we are starting off the new year absolutely on fire. So I appreciate you guys. I'm grateful for you. What day is everybody on as far as your challenge, just so we can keep everything documented? We are on day 178, I believe, as far as really getting down everything on paper, right? So you guys can see this is the power of this, right? Boom. Day 178, getting down the gratitude, getting down the blessings, really feeling it before it even happens. And honestly, this is a perfect example, right? Think about that. 178 days of manifesting, of really put the feeling on paper. And now this weekend, able to finally get around some of these one percenters that I've been watching for years. I've been studying Ed Mylett to a T. I know his story inside and out. And to be able to get around that in person, to be able to see even Grant Cardone and just get some of these gems, all of this was manifested. This was all done through the deep work. So family, this isn't something that we're just talking about every day. Everything that we're talking about is, a lot of it's from experience. And I know it's not just from me. This is from our mentors, from their mentors that are giving us the blueprint that's already been proven. So it's safe to say, family, we're on the right track with the right people at the right time. So let's go ahead and get into today. Honestly, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go ahead and get into it. We're going to be talking about, I got a couple different things, as always, to touch on. But the first thing I want to dive into, this is, everything I'm going to be giving you guys for this week is going to be straight out of that event, right? Look, let me show you. Break the code. We've got literally notes full, ready to go ahead and pour back into the squad. So just know it is about to get serious. So I'm here for you. Let's get it. Life-changing. Honestly, one of the greatest events I've ever been to in my life, by far. In fact, the best event I've ever went to in my life. So it's safe to say I've got a lot coming for you guys. So first things first, the 3 parts of the brain. You ready? Number 1 is going to be known as the thinking, right? The thinking part of the brain is, the example that I could give you guys today is to think about driving a car. right? At the beginning, if you think about first getting our license, passing the test, finally being able to get in there and drive by yourself, right? We were so particular on little things, right? Making sure the seatbelt's on, making sure we're situated, making sure the radio is right. All of these little parts that is thinking, right? Having to think about even driving a stick shift. At the beginning, that's actually the first car I learned how to drive, truth be told. And I remember I kept stalling out. Literally every other light, I would stall out. If you've ever driven a stick, you can probably relate. But I had to think, right, a lot. Every time I would have to literally look down, move it over, put my foot on the clutch, move it over, put it into first, let go of the clutch. So I used to have to literally look at my feet, let go of the clutch, and push the gas as I would go. So I had to think about it a lot as I was doing it, right? But then it became to the doing. Eventually, as you start doing something enough, right, when you put the reps in, somebody drop reps down below in the chat, right? Drop some reps down below, right? When you start putting the reps in, things start to get nothing gets easier. We just get better, right? So I started putting the reps in, right? As I was driving, as I would go to school and I would go to my games, I would go to my practice, I started to pick it up, right? It started to become second nature, right? So whenever you do anything enough times, you're going to be able to grow. So if you think about all aspects of this business, most of us had to go through all of these stages. The first part was thinking, right? I had to think a lot about public speaking. That was something at the beginning was not normal for me to do, was get up in front of people and share my story and talk about what it is that I've been able to learn, right? I had to think a lot about that before. But eventually, as I started to put the reps in, I started to become better at it, right? I started to be able to see clearly. I started to be able to lead with value on a daily basis. And I wasn't afraid to do it because I knew that my voice matters. And those of you that have already started this journey, you have seen the same thing. A lot of these things that we first started doing, we had to think about it, right? Making an event, going out and doing the first things that involved us doing at our job. But as we started to put the reps in, as you started doing a little bit more, what happens? You started to get a little bit more confident. You started showing up with a smile. You started to wake up excited to go ahead and run into the day because the day was not running you. You started to run the day by simply putting in the reps, by putting in the time, by getting experience, right? The objections that you once heard, now you've done the reps so many times. When somebody tells me they don't have money, that's funny because if I ask them this, in the past 90 days and all the money that you spend, how much has that money made you? And they're going to sit and think about it. They're going to be like, damn, bro, probably nothing. So I'm going to ask them, so if nothing changes, where are you going to be at in 6 months from now? Damn, bro, I'm probably going to be in the same spot. So when are you ready to make a decision? When are you ready to make a change? Well, actually, I'm ready to make a change today. Somebody that tells me they don't have the money, right? Once again, what's your dream car? Lamborghini. What color? Red. What color inside? All black, satin black, right? So you're telling me if I had $200 right here, you wouldn't be able to find the money today? Oh yeah, for sure I'll find the money. So it turns out everybody has the money. Somebody tells me they don't have time. D, I love what you're doing. I've been wanting to get into training. I've been wanting to learn about e-commerce for a while, but thing is, I don't have the time. I feel you, Jonathan. I felt the same way until I found out I was working 60 hours a week. I was working from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 p.m. at nighttime. And what was the biggest difference? That extra little 2 hours I started putting into myself. You see, I realized I was spending half of the day building somebody else's dreams, but I was coming home to do nothing for my dreams. So that time just started compounding until the point where I was working a full-time job, working part-time on my fortune. Eventually, my part-time fortune superseded my full-time income. This is the truth, fam. You've got to realize most people coming in, they're probably working a full-time job. But what's the difference? 1 hour, 2 hours, the time that they don't think they have is the difference between the 1%ers. They're doing more with the time that most people don't think they have, and they're taking advantage of it. So everybody works at 5 to 9, but what are you doing from 5 to 9? Are we building somebody else's dreams and coming back home to sleep and complain? Are we utilizing those extra hours, right? Somebody tells me, D, it's one of those things, right? What you're doing just seems like one of those things. Well, you know what's funny? What's your job? Where do you work at? Okay. You're an employee or you're self-employed. That's great. Let me ask you, are you ever going to make as much money as your CEO? The answer is probably not. So, well, that's funny. You're actually in one of those things. So when you start allowing people to paint a picture and allow them to see the things differently, they say, well, in one of those things, you can't make more money than the person above you. I make 10 times as much money as the person that put me inside of the business. So it just goes to show most people, they only know what they know. Matter of fact, the industry that we're in, MLM, right? Mentors leading mentors, moms loving moms. making lasting memories creates more millionaires than any other industry combined. Your favorite rapper, your favorite athlete, yeah, our mentors, they make more money than those people. So at the end of the day, most people, they just don't know any better. Okay, so but this comes from doing. This came from me putting the reps in. So now when somebody hits me with an objection, I'm not afraid. I know how they think already, but guess what? I already have the other side. I already know I can show them how they have the time, how they have the money, right? If you stop spending money for $7 a day for 30 days, guess what? You could afford to join. That's $200 right there. 7 and 3 is 21. That's $210 in a 30-day period, just saving $7 a day. Okay, but that came from doing, right? When I started trading at the beginning, it looked awkward to me. But when I started doing the reps, guess what? I started to see a lot of different things. I could see accumulation. I could see mitigation. I could start to see the trends in the chart to where I no longer became afraid. I became excited to look at the chart because now the details started to make sense, right? This is big. Problem with audio. Hold on, let me go live on IG again real quick. So, right, if you guys are getting any value from this, go ahead and drop some twos down below. If you guys have went through the thinking stage, if you guys understand that we have to go through the doing stage, right? Let me know if this makes sense, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's get into number 3, okay? The third piece, the third function of the brain, right? We have thinking, we have doing, and the last stage is going to be known as being, okay? Being. This is big. So let's think about driving in a car for a second. So at the beginning, I had to learn how to do the stick shift. You had to actually get everything situated in the car and really start thinking about how to back out, how to shift your gears. But number 2, as we started doing it enough times, it becomes second nature, right? With the reps. And this leads to the third function is being. How many of you drove today? You didn't have to think about it. You drove to the gas station, you drove to work, you drove to the gym. You're going to get in the car today, and most of you are not even going to think about it. You know why? Because it's become second nature to you. You don't even have to think about it. This is called unconscious competence. You've done something so many times, you've done enough reps to where you just do, right? You're able to literally just be. So here's what happens with all aspects of this business as well. When you guys start diving into trading, when you start diving with e-commerce, when you start diving into unpersonal development, you don't even have, I don't even have to think about it in the morning. I'm going to sleep to audios. I'm waking up to audios all throughout my day. I'm listening to value, and I'm doing that subconsciously because it's just a part of my day now. It's just a part of me. It's a part of who I am. And I started adopting this with all different aspects. I feel uncomfortable if I don't hit the gym. I feel uncomfortable if I don't read. I feel uncomfortable if I don't journal. It became second nature to me. I was traveling literally these past couple of days over in Miami, still did the gratitude, still did the journaling, still did the visualization, still did the meditation. All of these things, it's a part of me now. And as you start to grow, as we start to put the reps in, this becomes a part of you as well. It becomes weird for you to not do all these, to not get on Go Live, to not call your mentor, to not show up, to not put our energy out every day. And this is when you truly become dangerous, right? When you wake up today and you're like, man, I can't wait to get on Go Live to go ahead and take something from the session and implement it. I'm about to do that right after this call. There's an ECX call right now, learning about Shine On, learning about the new products, learning about the next big thing that we're about to launch for the next holiday. I can't wait to get off to go learn that because I'm going to have to think about it at the beginning. I'm going to have to think about how are we going to use this product, how it's going to make sense. Number 2, right? I'm going to have to put the reps in. I'm going to have to do the research. I'm going to have to see why people are looking at this, why they like it. And number 3, it's going to become second nature, doing the ads, learning how to list the product, learning how to make these websites. And the same thing goes for all of us. So the more we do it, it doesn't get easier. We just get better, right? So this is huge. So this is the 3 functions of our brain that we all go through, no matter what it is that we're looking to learn. Family, I was not good at public speaking. I was not good at trading. I was not good with e-commerce. I was not good at any of these things. But as I started thinking, and as I started doing the reps, it started to become second nature to where now I've done this 11 a.m. call for 3 years straight now. It's a part of me now. So as you start to grow, all these things is going to happen for you as well. That's why I tell you all the time, the biggest thing between us and our mentors is what? One thing, time. They've just been doing it a little bit longer than us. That's it. Time just has to catch up. So know that our success is inevitable. It's already done. But this is my training for you guys today, family. I've got so much to go ahead and pour into everybody today. So just know there's a lot coming for the week. And tonight, we're going to have a huge breakdown from all 10 of us leaders that actually went out, experienced Break the Code. So we're going to give a 3-minute segment for everybody on all of our takeaways. This is going to be a call you do not want to miss because, family, remember, the law energy, right? The law of energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed. It's nothing but transferred. And that's our goal, is to be able to transfer some of this energy, some of this light, to be able to take that and run your business, run the day, run the month, run the year of 2023. So family, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. Go out and make an abundant day. Make yourself known, because the world is waiting to hear your story. So family, it is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, and have anything that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. I love you, family. I will see you tomorrow on another episode with Rise and Shine with Define. Go out, be great, have an abundant day. Let's get to it. It's game time, family. Let's get to work.